What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. Hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and that the weekend has found you. I don't know if you're watching this on Thursday, the day we're dropping it, or perhaps on Friday, but whenever you're watching it, I hope the weekend has already begun. I hope you're safe. I hope you're warm. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. I hope all these wonderful things are happening to you because you are a wonderful person. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel. I like to think that we do some wonderful things around here. You know, our talented staff at Blogging the Boys, bloggingtheboys.com. You can read all the articles from myself and our very, very talented staffers. You can hang out with me on any level of social media across the internet. Links to everything down in the description below. I think this will be the last video that you get from me here on this channel before I leave to San Francisco, working and covering the Super Bowl for SB Nation next week. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We will have some things that are Cowboys related and obviously NFL related. The SB Nation NFL YouTube channel has some things coming out as well. That is also linked down in the description below. Today is kind of a chat between you and I. Today we're going to cozy up and we're going to talk and we're going to discuss something that I think is important, something that is low-key important, but something that is still important nonetheless. I wrote about this. This article will probably be out by the time you watch this. It's going out on Thursday afternoon. And the premise of the article is quite simple. And it's that more than the defense is relying on Christian Parker to succeed in 2026. Now, obviously, Christian Parker is the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator, so it makes sense that we're all hoping that the defense succeeds under his watch. But the reality with Christian Parker is because of how different he is from an archetype perspective in terms of what the Dallas Cowboys usually do, in terms of the types of hires the Dallas Cowboys usually make, there is so much more depending on Christian Parker succeeding. We obviously, again, are expecting, hoping, anticipating the defense to succeed under his watch, but you could make a very strong argument that the future in terms of things happening of this ilk and that being deviations from the norm, that those hinge upon Christian Parker succeeding as well. I don't mean to make this about something bigger than it really is, but my point, I think the collective point, is that hiring Christian Parker is something very different in terms of recent modern Dallas Cowboys times. And if that fails, if the front office views it as something that they shouldn't have done, it stands to reason that they probably won't go down the path that they didn't go down beforehand. So Christian Parker, no big deal, but we're all kind of counting on you. And that's kind of the TLDR of the point. But I do think that we've assigned so much of this difference and this deviation to who Christian Parker is and whatnot, and the fact that he's youngest defensive coordinator in franchise history, the fact that obviously he's coming from a team that's been highly successful in the Philadelphia Eagles. I know that's not fun to admit, that's not fun to acknowledge, but it is the ultimate reality. The fact that he has no prior connection to or history with anybody associated with the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff or front office. We're talking serious things like Matt Eberflus, somebody who had worked for the team, Mike Zimmer, somebody who had worked for the team. And look, I love this. I want to be very, very, very clear about something. You can point to any of the differences about Christian Parker relative to other people who the Cowboys have hired on their coaching staff, his youth, his foreign nature in terms of not having a history with the team, the fact that he's coming from a highly successful team. These are all, sectors of the NFL universe that the Cowboys haven't touched. You can point to any one of those as a pro in my mind. But I also want to be very clear that you don't have to be young, you don't have to be foreign, you don't have to have been coming from a successful team in order to have success, right? You can be somebody who is an older defensive coordinator. You can be somebody who has a history with the team. You can be somebody who's coming off of a low stint with your previous team and still have success, right? Like there's no specific way that it has to be done. But this is a well that the Cowboys have not drawn from in the past. This is an area where we have begged the Cowboys to go to explore and mine, and they have finally done so with Christian Parker. And so if this is successful, if they feel like, man, there was a legitimate return on that investment, then it stands to reason that they might say the next time that they're in need of a coach or a staffer or whatever the case may be, that, in their minds and in their sort of process and disposition, they could say, well, we zigged with Christian Parker when we normally zag, so let's zig again. That's the hope. That's the dream. Again, not that it is always somebody young or always somebody coming from a successful team or always somebody who has no prior connection to a relationship with the team. The hope, the disposition we're hoping that is adopted by the front office is that there are multiple ways to approach this and that it does not have to exclusively be the way that they have done things in the past. That's the important takeaway here. And in that respect, I mean, Christian Parker is sort of the way I kind of thought about it when I wrote the article was he is this is a new hope, right? Like I'm serious. Like this is a new hope. Christian Parker and this Dallas Cowboys staff are a new hope. And the Death Star in this situation, this example, isn't the Cowboys front office, but it's the Cowboys way of thinking. It's the Cowboys way of operating, not necessarily them specifically or, the front office as a collective, but it is the line of thinking that they have held for forever now. Whether you think that was legitimate thinking, whether you think that was laziness, whether you think it was because they prioritized making money and financial success and whatnot, whatever. My point is that is the Death Star. Whatever you think it is, that is the Death Star. And Christian Parker, and I want to give credit to Brian Schottenheimer. We've given a lot of kudos and love to Christian Parker, rightfully so, but I think that Brian certainly deserves his fair share based on, helping make this hire be a thing, right? They represent the mission that is A New Hope. They are Luke Skywalker aboard his spaceship trying to go destroy the Death Star and establish peace, love, and unity for the entire galaxy, which is all of us, right? Like that's what we're hoping. That's what we are crossing our fingers and kind of praying is the case here. Not necessarily just in 2026 or specifically in 2026, but beyond. And if they can tear down the awful exterior that has been the way of thinking, the way of operation, the ammo that the Cowboys have been working with for the last 20 years now, it isn't quite the entire drought, then that will have been a massive success. And that will have been the ultimate thing, the most important thing. Obviously, we're also rooting for on the field success and, wins and things like that. That makes sense and goes without saying. But I don't mean to be dramatic. That's not my point in bringing this conversation up. But I think that it becomes so diluted to look at Christian Parker and to say, well, the defense is really counting on him to turn things around. Yeah, duh. they were literally the worst defense, arguably in franchise history. Honestly, almost in NFL history last year. So yeah, I mean, we believe and expect and hope that he's going to fix the defense, but he carries more than that. He is special in that he is different. The qualities of who he is are different. He is not cut from the same cloth in terms of the way that coaches and staffers and people of that ilk have arrived at the Cowboys and gotten jobs at the Cowboys. He is not like that. And so, I mean, like, just think about it when I don't know. I mean, when you have tried a new food, right? You try a new restaurant. You go to let's work with a restaurant analogy, right? You go to a restaurant for the first time. Maybe it's a place you've been avoiding because it's Friday night. You go to the places that are comfortable. Nah, I just want the regular thing. I know it. I trust it, right? Like I'm not here. I don't want to go wait in the line. And they don't have the chips and salsa that I like. Right? I think they have bread, but it's kind of hard and I have to cut it. And then we make a mess and the little crumbs get everywhere. And then we got to smear the butter. It's just a big old thing. Chips and salsa are so much easier. But sometimes bread and butter are great. Sometimes restaurants have different kinds of butter. Shout out Texas Roadhouse, not a sponsor, but just laying out facts here, right? And so you go to the new restaurant, and if the experience, if the meal, if it is all sterling, if it is all even just good, right? When you walk out of there, you say, you know what, next time when we want to go have dinner, maybe we come here, right? Like the bread was fine. And in fact, the bread was kind of good. The meal was good. The service was good. The lighting was good. It wasn't cold. I didn't need a jacket. Like sometimes our normal spot gets kind of chilly, right? Like, I kind of like this spot. And that's what this is. This is the new restaurant. And we need this first meal, this bread, this butter, this cinnamon butter, whatever the case may be. We need it to be delicious enough that the Dallas Cowboys front office wants to eat here again. That's the analogy as far as things related to Christian Parker and his success with the Dallas Cowboys is concerned here in 2026. Obviously, specifically, but hopefully well beyond that. And that's just a thought that I've kind of had in my head for a while, is that this hire is so important and that so many things with regards to the future ultimately rest on it. And so I wanted to come on here and talk about it with all of you. And I got very nervous a second ago because I thought my dog Bear was going to bark at something outside, but he didn't. We made it. And I think I hear something coming. So you and I are going to get out of here. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Blog and the Boys YouTube channel. You can hang out with me on any level of social media. Like I said, the SB Nation NFL channel popping once more. Had an interview with Rob Riggle that dropped today on Thursday. The link to that is down in the description below. Also links to my social profiles. You can hang out with me anywhere you want. For now, my friends, I'm going to bid you adieu. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And can't wait to see you next time. Thanks so much for hanging out.